Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamu alaikum class. I'm your instructor Zia Hamid. I welcome you to English grade 6 video lessons. So in this today's video lesson, as you know, we are on our unit number 4 and the title is He is a Carpenter. And my dear learners, I hope that you have read the lesson. You are all ready and set to understand and achieve our grammars SLO for today's video lesson. And this is our lecture number 1A, and our topic is present perfect tense. And it's deducted from our students' learning outcome. So let's read and try to understand about our students' learning outcome so that we can begin our lesson. So our SLO is recognize and use the forms and functions of present perfect tense. Now, we are talking about tenses and specifically in present tenses, and in that we have something like present perfect tense. We are going to see the forms and the function of this tense thoroughly in this video lesson. So I hope that you're already in set. So here is a vertical linkage of our SLO with the previous grade, the same SLO that we covered. So it's kind of similar. In the previous grade, we talked about present perfect for actions occurring at an unspecified time, already, just, or yet. So this is not something new. We have been dealing with tenses for a very long time in the previous grades also. So now in this video lesson, we are talking about present perfect tense. Time for a very quick brainstorming session so that you know that why it is important to talk about things in the present perfect tense. So your question is to think about your daily routine or recent activities. Can you rewrite some of those actions in the present perfect tense to show how they might still be relevant to the present moment? So if something has happened in the past, how it is still connected to the present, or is it still going on? This is what we learn in our present perfect tense. So can you come up with your daily routines, daily actions and activities, and make such a sentence in the present perfect tense that it's still relevant to the present moment? Good. I hope that you have understood the brainstorming question very well, and you're very comfortable to do it. Now, after this quick brainstorming session, let's move on to our main topic, which is about present perfect tense. So, when to use the present perfect tense? What is the right time to generate such sentences in our speech and in our writing so that we can relate the previous event or actions to the present moment? Now, in present perfect tenses, completed actions with a connection to the present. Actions that are completed, already happened, but they have a connection to your present or the present moment. So this is when we use our present perfect tense. So we use the present perfect to talk about actions that happened at an unspecified time in the past. The time is not specified, it could be any time, and it happened in the past, but they have a connection, a relevancy to the present. So this is all about the present perfect tense and the situation in which we are using them. Let's talk about an example. I have broken my leg, or she has cleaned her room. Now, this is something that has happened in the past, but it is still relevant as you can see from this sentence, I have broken my leg. The speaker is saying that the leg is still in that same condition. Something happened in the past. It was broken in the past, but it is still relevant in the present. The speaker is still having a broken leg. So this is how we make a present perfect tense. She has cleaned her room. Now, the room is cleaned, something that has happened in the past, but it is still relevant and it is still, it shows a relevancy to the present, and this action was performed in the past at any unspecified time. Now, you can see the verbs I have or she has. This is how we form our present perfect tense, and we will be talking about them thoroughly. But I hope with this slide you are very much understanding about the present perfect tense, what it is, and when do we use it. We also saw some examples. Now, first, we talked about when we are referring to completed actions happened in the past that are still relevant in the present moment. Now, another purpose of using our present perfect tense is to talk about experiences. We use it to talk about experiences in our life. And experiences are something that have already happened sometime in the past, but they are still relevant and they are still in the memory of the speaker or the writer. So let's look at some examples over here. I have been to Berlin. Now, the experience of being to Berlin is still fresh in the memory, it's still relevant, it's a part of an event of the life of the speaker. Now, I have been to that restaurant 3 times. She has traveled to Europe twice. They have visited the Great Wall of China, or he has eaten sushi before. So all these are examples of present perfect tense, and all these are your experiences that happened in the past, but you still talk about them because they're relevant and you have memories. It's fresh in your mind. You can retain these experiences anytime in the present moment. Now, we also use our present perfect tense when we are showing actions that started in the past and continue into the present. So, we also use it to talk about actions that began in the past and are still relevant or ongoing in the present. For example, he has lived in the city for 5 years. Now, living here in the city, it has been 5 years. It is something that happened in the past when the speaker started living in the city, but it is still going on and it is relevant because the speaker is still in the same city. It has been 5 years and it's still going on. The time is being added. The speaker or the writer of this sentence is still in the same city, living the same kind of life. So this is an example of something that happened in the past, but it is still relevant and ongoing. Now, another example is I've been an English teacher for 10 years. Now, here the speaker or the writer is still teaching English, is still a teacher of English, something that he decided before 10 years to become an English teacher, but it is still going on, and that's how it is linked together, the past and the present moment, and this is when we used our present perfect tense. Now, how do we form our present perfect tense? Now, let's look at it. Now, there are 3 kind of forms: positive, negative, and interrogative, or the question form. So when we will be learning all these three forms, we can use the present perfect tense in any situation in our speech and in our writing. So let's go through number one, which is positive form. You start with the subject, add have for I, you, we, or they. If you are having these kind of pronouns, you will be using have, or has if you have these pronouns, he, she, and it, you will be using the word has. And then add the past participle form of the verb. Now, let's look at an example. I have played soccer. I with the word have, and then our past participle of the verb, which is played, and then our object or anything that we are talking about. She has been to France. Now, she, we know that we are using has with she, he, and it, and been is the past participle of be, and then our object. So, you can clearly see an example when you're having pronouns like I and you, we, and they, you will use the word have, and when you have pronouns or subjects like he, she, and it, you will be using the word has as the main verb or the helping verb. And then you will add the past participle of the verb followed by the object or the any later part of the sentence. So this is how we form a positive kind of present perfect tense. For the negative form, we will be using not after have or has accordingly to form negative sentences. We will be adding the past participle form of the verb like we did in the positive form. For example, I haven't seen that movie. Now, haven't is a contraction form of have not. So we added not after have, and then our past participle form of the verb seen, and then the later part of the sentence. Next one is she hasn't finished her lunch yet. She has not. So we put has because it is she that we are addressing, and then we added not after that. They haven't come back from school. So another this is also a contraction of have not, which we call haven't. So the participle past participle of the verb, and then the later part of the sentence or the object we are talking about. So this is how you form a negative kind of present perfect tense, by adding not uh, followed by have. Next one is the question form, or which we also called interrogative form. Begin with have or has, add the subject, and then add the past participle form of the verb. So we will begin our sentence with have or has, adding the subject and then the past participle form. Have you seen that movie? Have comes first, then our subject, and then our past participle of the verb. Has he studied for his exam? Have you done your homework? So all these are examples of question forms of present participle tenses. So you can come up with more examples from generating all these three forms with one sentence. Now here is a simulation video for your better understanding. You could watch it later anytime that you like. Now let's talk about your classroom activity from page 29 of the book. You have to construct sentences by using is, am, are, was, were, has or have as helping and main verbs. So these will be used as your main verbs. You will form affirmative, negative, and interrogative forms of the present participle tenses. For your homework, you have to rewrite the following sentences in the present perfect tense. So, read these sentences and then transform them into present perfect tenses. Now, here is your worksheet that you can easily solve to enhance your better understanding. We have some resources like skill sheet, question bank, worksheet, lesson plan, and presentation. All these are available in the description of the video. I hope that I'm successful in conveying to you the present perfect tense clearly and efficiently. We talked about why we use present perfect tenses, when do we use them, followed by some examples and different forms of using them. Till the next video lesson, Allah Hafiz.